the present day medical model. Now, is the present day medical model working? And how does that relate to the holistic model that more people like myself, you, and more other people are starting to be vocal about? What are the contrasts?
Yes, sir. Great question, Brother Damien. So, and this is very important. People have to understand, and I always, whenever I want to talk about the current medical model that we in the United States have, and not just the United States, much of the developed world, right? Whenever I talk about it, I always want to start by saying this. First of all, we have some of the best trained doctors in the world, okay? The level of training that they receive is bar none, okay? We have some of the most innovative companies. I mean, we've got drugs for everything. We've got
Right.
machines. If I were to get into a car accident, God forbid, I would, there is no other country I would love to be in than America, okay? Because we've got everything, okay?
Right.
Every machine, every tool, we can bring you back to life, right? Those are traumatic injuries, right? Physical
Right.
injuries.
Right.
We're top dog in that field,
Right.
surgeries and everything. Now, I want to preface that by saying this. When it comes to lifestyle diseases, okay, people have to understand the difference between a physical trauma and something that arose as a result of how you live. I
Mm.
want to make that contrast. People have to understand that. Our healthcare system is not equipped to handle that. Now, that's a mighty bold statement that I just made, but I want to provide some evidence, okay? We simply need to look at statistics to determine whether or not what I am saying is true, okay? And so, what are these statistics? Well, let's take a look at Exhibit A. Today, 6 in 10 adults in this country have a chronic disease. Okay. Within that 6 in 10, 4 in 10 adults have 2 or more chronic diseases.
Mm.
Okay. Now, it doesn't stop there. 7 in 10 deaths each year in this country is due to chronic diseases. So these people are not dying because their time, their time is up, or, they got into a car accident, or they were robbed and shot, God forbid, but they're dying because of the lifestyle that they've lived. Okay. And so these statistics are shocking. Now, let's look at something that affects the cost, right? It affects us all because we're paying for this, whether it be through taxes or direct cost. Okay. In 2020, in the United States, we spent 4.1 trillion with a T, $4.1 trillion on healthcare alone. Okay. The majority of that, about 85 to 90% of that, was for treating chronic diseases.
Wow.
Okay. So the overwhelming majority of all the healthcare costs, people are always complaining about, oh, healthcare is so expensive, la di da. The majority of the money we're spending is to treat chronic diseases. Now, let's take a look at what we have to show for all that. Now, I said trillion with a T, y'all. I didn't say billion, okay?
Right.
For all of that spending that we're spending annually, not over a period of time, on a year, okay? That's about 18% of our GDP. For all of that spending, when you look around, look in your family, look in your neighborhood, look in your community, look at your job, look in your school, what do you see? Well, let me tell you what you see. People are getting sicker,
That's right.
people are getting fatter, and
That's
people are
right.
taking more medications.
That's right.
So you should be able to judge a system based on the outcome or the output that is evident. So when you see people getting sicker, when you see people getting fatter, when you see people getting on more medications, that is the result of the system we currently have. So again, I want to make that stark contrast. We have an excellent system when it comes to trauma. Okay, it's called heroic medicine, but our system is ill-equipped, unable to stop the growing trend of chronic disease, because that's like trying to use a rock to punch in a nail, right? You're going to bend it the wrong way. It's not suited for it, right? It's trying to fit a square in a round hole. It's not suited for, you can force and squeeze it, but you're just going to break the, the Legos. So